The marketing process seeks inform, persuade, and bring consumers into action. Information and persuasion are mainly achieved through communication. Communication is defined as transmitting, giving or exchange information using oral or written means. Hence, marketing and communication go hand in hand. At the end of the lesson, the student should be able to, first, explain the communication process, using models and theories and its relationship to marketing. Second, identify communication models relevant to the marketing process, and third, describe communication challenges and problems and how to avoid it. There are 4 communication models, and I will discuss each model as relevant to our area of study. The Lasswell's SMCR model. The communication process begins when the source selects words, symbols, pictures, and the like to represent the message that will be delivered to the receiver. Smith and Sook 2011. The message can be verbal or non-verbal, oral or written, or in symbolic form. Encoding is the process by which thoughts are expressed in the form of words, symbols, pictures and gestures. A good communicator identifies who they are talking to before crafting the message and deciding on the best way to transmit it. The type of receiver will determine the following: how and when you said it, and which medium you used. Interpreting messages can become quite a challenge depending on who the receivers are. Decoding is the process of transforming the sender's message into the receiver's thought. How the message is received and understood is heavily influenced by the receiver's field of experience. Next, the Shannon and Weaver's mathematical model. Shannon and Weaver describe communication as a linear process. The process begins with the information source, which produces a message or a set of messages to be transmitted. The message is formed into signals by a transmitter. The signals are then adapted into channel, affected by noise interference which may alter how the message is received. That leads to the receiver, which then reconstructs the message to reach the destination. There may be difference between how the sender's original message is received by the destination, mainly due to transmission problems. This is resolved by the availability of feedback wherein the receiver sends back a message to the original sender.
BERLO'S SMCR communication model. David BERLO introduces factors that may affect the process of communication from the source, message, channel and receiver, SMCR. The source and the receiver of the message have different levels of communication skills, attitudes, knowledge of the topic being discussed, and social system, which covers various aspects of society and culture. The message is affected by certain factors that may help get the message more easily understood. These include content, or what the actual message is from beginning to end. Elements like language, used, gestures etc., and treatment is the way the message is conveyed. Structured is how the message is arranged. And code pertaining how the message is sent. Different channels can be used to get the message across. It could be through any of the 5 senses or a combination of 2 or 3 senses. The medium can be oral, sense of hearing, visual, sense of sight, tactile, sense of touch, olfactory, sense of smell, and or gustatory, sense of taste. The source and the receiver should be on the same level for effective communication to take place. Furthermore, each one should be sensitive to each other's backgrounds for good communication to occur.
Let's move on to Osgood and SCHRAMM'S model of communication. Osgood-SCHRAMM'S model of communication is dynamic in nature. It looks into communication as circular in nature. The encoder, sender, is able to send a message to a decoder, receiver, who interprets the message and sends feedback to the original message sender. A central feature of this model is that both sender and receiver can send feedback. Also, the sender and the receiver can easily switch roles. Interpretation of the message is also an important element of the model as the receiver tries to understand, analyze, and perceive the meanings attached to the message. Model of communication versus marketing planning. Communication and marketing planning go hand in hand. As seen in figure of Lasswell's model of communication can be matched with the process of marketing planning. The who, being the advertiser, says what, being the creative message, in which channel as the media types, to whom as the defined target market, and with what effect as the consumer's response. Such parallelism further strengthens the fact that marketing and communication are closely related fields of study. Communication and marketing planning go hand in hand. as seen in Figure 4. 4. Lasswell's model of communication can be matched with the process of marketing planning. The who, being the advertiser, says what, being the creative message, in which channel as the media types, to whom as the defined target market, and with what effect is the consumer's response. Such parallelism further strengthens the fact that marketing and communication are closely related fields of study. Communication has a lot to do with shaping influence. The way we communicate with people determines the level of influence we have on others. Understanding the different communication models and theories give us an appreciation of the practical ways we can market products and services. Marketing is all about communication the best our products, services, and ideas have to offer. A lot of marketing situations necessitate a cohesive and effective communication plan. Communication problem. Most of the communication models show how information can flow effectively from sender/source to receiver/destination through various channels. However, communication fails when a message is received differently from how the sender intends it to be. In other words, the sent message is different from the received message. Misunderstanding happens when communicators fail to realize that how they send the message may be different from how the receiver interprets the message. This failure in communication may be due to several factors such as language barriers, varied connotations of words, signs, and symbols, cultural difference, faulty word choices, and mistranslation. Therefore, the goal of marketing communication is to achieve common ground between the sender and the receiver. The bigger the union of the two circles, the easier it is to encourage and influence the other person. Wilbur Schramm's model of communication, 1954, encapsulates the goal of marketing: achieving understanding and common ground.